A dystopian future is looming over workers in Florida. With a new governor and crop of politicians ready to pay back their big business donors, time is running out. The countdown has started, and workers only have 9 weeks to fight back against Tallahassee's army of destruction. Governor DeSantis opened the 2019 legislative session with a State of the State address filled with the same ideas and promises that have placed Florida in its current position at the bottom of public education funding, healthcare spending, and environmental protections. Thankfully, workers were there to lead the fight against these ruinous policies with the people's response to our new governor's platitudes.
We heard a lot just now about the state of Florida, the low taxes, that taxes will never go up, that we will never have revenue. Here's what we didn't hear. 3.2 million households, 45% of all households in the state, classify as working poor. We want to generate the income that we need by making the more powerful and the biggest corporations just pay their fair share for the state to work. We need to stop trying to tear down the unions in Florida that are fighting hard for working families every single day.
Let me give a message to the governor. Although you outlined an education agenda, you forgot about one thing. You forgot about our public schools. What we have seen is the double down of our public education system. And for the past 20 years, you've been in charge of it. You've ignored our public school teachers. You've over-tested our students. You diverted critical public funds to unaccountable private voucher schemes, all in the name of saying that you want to ensure that we up our achievement. But when the state of Florida, we have not even hit the mark of achievement nationally.
The first threat to our future this year is a deviously misleading fracking bill. Legislators claim it will follow up on the governor's campaign promise to ban hydraulic fracturing, but the language of this bill conveniently leaves out the most environmentally damaging methods that could compromise the aquifer, which provides drinking water to millions of Floridians.
In order to get 2 miles down, you have to drill a hole through the drinking water aquifer.
The language of this bill is so confusing that legislators didn't even know what was going on.
There's so much I don't know. I think it'd be important that we research this as we do all of our decisions here.
This fake fracking ban was postponed until the next committee meeting. Legislators moved quickly from their assault on the environment to attacking workers' rights to fight for better wages and working conditions. HB 13 is template legislation from the billionaire-funded American Legislative Exchange Council that strips workers from being compensated when negotiating fair contracts.
Why do you keep saying that?
Because they pay me every time I do.
House Bill 13 really strips rights from every public worker in the state. It's a solution in search of a problem, and it's unconstitutional. The folks on the other side of the negotiating table aren't using their leave time. They're not using their personal time. They are on the clock. More than that, they actually pay millions of dollars to outside law firms and consultants to come in and do that work for them. So what this bill is saying is that the individual worker, the police officer, the firefighter, the maintenance worker, the teacher, all of these public servants, you can't participate directly in the contract that impacts you and your family's lives, but the other side can bring in all kinds of outside experts to do that work.
Union activity is not necessarily a detriment to a good working relationship. It talks about that taxpayer money should not be used for recognized and legal activities. Taxpayer money, though, is being used to pay lawyers to fight against protections that are afforded by unions.
Unions have changed this country for the better. The reality is that unions have an incredible role to play, and I would want this legislative body to focus on making life better for workers versus harder.
I was my school rep for my union. Administration, they have all the advantages when they're, to a certain extent, applying pressure on one of the employees. And you'll go into an assistant principal's office and you might have 2 other principals in there with you, and it's you against 3 other people. And the only person you have to give you any kind of moral support is your union rep, your school rep.
The Constitution says specifically
The right of employees by and through a labor organization to bargain collectively shall not be denied or abridged, and I believe that this, as your bill currently stands, is in violation of the Florida Constitution.
Despite speakers lining up against it 39-4, HB 13 passed its first committee with bipartisan opposition. Take action on this anti-union bill by calling your local representative and urging them to vote no on HB 13 before it's too late. SB 7070 is another massive train bill attacking public education. It includes the largest expansion of school vouchers in state history, essentially providing them on demand, a practice ruled unconstitutional by the Florida Supreme Court. School privateers are banking on the new DeSantis court to rule differently. Additionally, the bill continues the unfair bonus schemes and doesn't provide real salary increases for teachers.
You show that you know exactly what is needed in our public schools, but underfunding it shows that you're unwilling to do that in our public schools, and instead you're shoring up private schools and disrespecting our choice to attend these public schools.
Is a 1-minute presentation by a bunch of people significant to you? I would suggest, second day of session, slow down a little bit. Let's have a workshop. Bring superintendents in. Bring finance officers in. Bring parents in. Let's do this right.
I didn't get into teaching to become rich. None of us do. We do it for the children. We do it for education. We love what we do. I invest in our state's future every day with my teaching. Please invest in me and invest in all schools.
This continued dismantling of our public schools passed the Senate Education Committee with a party line vote. If this bill passes as is, public education will be unrecognizable in the coming years. Union members from across the state spoke truth to power all week by testifying in committees and lobbying their legislators. Walking through the halls of the Florida Capitol for just a week revealed a legislative process hijacked by wealthy special interests. Lobby Corps members shared their experiences.
My time spent here in the Capitol has been very good.
It's a good time to come up here and learn how legislation works here in the state of Florida.
Each individual has such an important role in making things happen in this building behind us.
It's very important that you come up here and walk the halls, meet with your senators, your representatives.
If you're not at the table, you're on the menu.
They're hearing from the lobbyists, they're hearing from money. They're not hearing from us like they should.
Here in Tallahassee to tweet at my legislators while they're on the floor of the legislature making these horrible laws.
Don't stay at home and leave this job to someone else. It's your responsibility.
Our legislators do not know what working people do in the state of Florida, and if you're not in their office telling them what we do, they're going to keep passing bills and passing legislation that hurts us every single day at work, at home, in our retirement, with our health care. You got to get in the room.
That wraps up our first update of the 2019 legislative session, leaving us with 8 more weeks to save Florida's future. Tune into the countdown next week for another legislative update. Solidarity.